symmetry and the y-intercept. So there's a few different ways to do it, and let's say we decided to do x equals negative b over 2a, just because we have to find a vertex that will always get us the x-coordinate of the vertex. So here, the slightly tricky thing is there is no x term. B is 0. And so what that means is that the x-coordinate of the vertex is going to be 0. So if we're looking for our vertex, which is our hk, right now we have the h, or the x, is 0. So plugging that 0 back in, or in other words finding f of 0, that's how we get our y-coordinate. So we'll toss that 0 back in our original and see what y comes out when we do it. And that drops out, and then we find f of 0 equals negative 100. So that's going to be our k, or our y-coordinate of our vertex. And then let's see, axis of symmetry. So the axis of symmetry always is, every single time, until chapter 10, the axis of symmetry is going to be x equals h, the x-coordinate of the vertex. So that would be the line x equals 0, which is a vertical line, also known as the y-axis, going through 0. And then the y-intercept, we actually found it here when we found the vertex because of where it happens to be, since it's on the 0. But normally to find a y-intercept, we would just plug in x equals 0 and then see what y comes out to. And then that would be right here. So that was one way to look at this. And then the other way to look at it is just to kind of think about what the graph would do. We don't have to draw a good graph. We'll just draw kind of a meh graph here. But if we think of our transformations, this minus 100 is shifted down 100. And that 13 means it's stretched by a factor of 13. So instead of being, some kind of wide thing like that, it's going to be a super narrow thing like that. But it's a super narrow thing like this that's just shifted down here to negative 100. And it would look something like that. So if I think about what would be my axis of symmetry then, and my vertex, well, my vertex is right there at the bottom, and so that's going to be x is 0 and y is negative 100. The axis of symmetry is that fold line, and that's our x equals 0. And then I can see that the vertex and the y-intercept are the exact same point. So this is where graphing is a little bit nice. If you can look at this and realize, oh, it's just this thing, like you can answer all those questions pretty easily. And if you don't see it, you can still go through the steps. Find the x-coordinate of your vertex, plug it back in to get the y-coordinate. Then you have your axis of symmetry, and then let x equals 0 to get your y-intercept. That will also work, but in this case, the graphing was like a nice shortcut. So there's a couple of different looks at it. Let me know if you have more questions.